Hey guys, Peshev from Devrix here. Today's topic is what are you supposed to do when you need special digital work, be it marketing, web development, design, SEO, whatever. There are three common options that you can stop on and you can basically pick from, and those are hiring a full-time employee, hiring a freelancer, or working with an agency. I've been there. I've actually been from all possible combinations here, being an employee, a freelancer, and working for an agency, and also offloading, hiring people, hiring freelancers, and offloading work to other agencies. So there are different combinations that you can pick from. On top of that, it gets a little bit more complicated depending on the type of skills you want to types of skills you're looking for. And expertise and the amount of time to be spent and so on and so on. But I'm going to break them down into three different categories before moving forward. So the first one is hiring an employee. Let's say you do want digital marketing work or web development, and you do want to build a project that is going to work on an ongoing basis and so on. So again, if you could be in one of the many possible situations here. For example, you may have another 50 developers or marketers already, so you're good to go. You have a process, you have managers, you have team leaders and whatnot. Or you may be a very small team that's essentially 5 people only, and looking to expand by hiring new people in-house, or by reducing costs and offloading externally, or looking top talent externally. So again, those are different combinations, but in a nutshell, if it's a small project, if it's something that takes 5-10 hours a week or something like that, obviously it doesn't make a lot of sense outsourcing it, right? Because outsourcing to a full-time person that you hire in-house, because this person is going to get paid for a 40-hour work week while being busy for about 8 to 12 hours a week, which again doesn't make a lot of business sense. On the other end, if it's a large project, if it's something more massive, talking about the other extreme, then you're relying on a single person to handle that activity, which isn't usually possible. You usually need 2 or 3 people, people with different skill sets, with different expertise, with know-how in different areas and so on, to take on that challenge. On top of that, you need someone to manage them. You need, for example, in the marketing case, a marketing director, or that marketing director is also going to collaborate and communicate with people dealing with branding, with creative, with development, and other types of activities, advertisement, probably PR, that are not directly related to marketing. In the web development case, they have to coordinate and also find people dealing with quality assurance, server management and deployments and infrastructure, and all of those other things that you don't really think of while working on the project. So again, it gets a little bit more complicated. So in a nutshell, hiring an employee makes sense if you want to develop that whole department yourself, if you want to build a team of experts full-time dealing with that, because hiring just one person for the most part isn't that efficient, isn't the best solution out there, and more often than not there are more effective solutions like offloading that work to someone else. That's the gist of it. Let's talk about freelancers. Freelancers share some commonalities with hiring full-time employees, in a way that they don't possess all the skills that you need, but they're available just a few hours a week or a few hours a month, or be available on call and stuff like that. So it's kind of a flexible agreement that works, especially for small projects. It's pretty okay, but it gets a bit tricky as your project grows larger, because you need more commitment, you need more time, you need higher commitment from your staff, and a freelancer is usually working on numerous projects, and they may not be available, or they may be having a hard time with the other projects, so they may actually look for a full-time job, since you only cover 20% of what they look for on a monthly basis or something like that. So that's actually something that has happened I've worked with freelancers who have started full-time jobs simply because they couldn't really pay their expense. It's something that happens, after all, not all freelancers are successful, and that's kind of obvious. Also, some freelancers are actually working part-time jobs, or rather they work a full-time job or a part-time job and they freelance as a part-time job. So that's also something that you need to consider. And skills is also something that's worth noting, because for example, if you want a web development platform, this platform may require back-end development, front-end development, probably creative, probably some DevOps jobs and so forth. Finding someone who's really full stack and being senior and also affordable is not really that trivial. So you need to really consider the different options here. So again, it's an opportunity, but you may have, it could be cheaper than hiring someone full-time or an agency, but you have to deal with their time frames, limitations of their skills, or have to have someone who manages several different freelancers dealing with different activities. Third option is agency. Hiring an agency that does everything. So even though I own an agency, I'm going to reveal a secret. Most agencies don't really do a great job in what they do. The small ones, they're trying to scale, they're dealing with far too many things at the same time. The large ones, they often work with assistants, interns, and kind of assign people kind of on training for different projects, and that's pretty common, to be honest. So you want to make sure that you work with a type of agency that's similarly sized or just a little bit smaller than you, or something like that. The type of agency that you can kind of familiarize yourself with the team, explain the expectations and so forth. Otherwise, again, you may just get random people assigned to your project that incur additional overhead and so forth. Also, most agencies that we have vetted, and we get pitched for outsourcing our services to dozens of agencies, like probably over 100 a month. They don't really have any legitimate processes for dealing with the type of work they are supposed to do. They expect to receive a specification, deliver what they think is right, get paid, and that's pretty much it. But the process is a little bit different, right? They need to invest in QA, they need to invest in understanding the business requirements, the business needs of a customer, what they actually want from that specific project, what they're looking for in that, types of monetization strategies, the needs of the project as it evolves in terms of security, of scaling, of profitability, monetization opportunities, a lot of other different things. And those are things that, again, professional agencies are dealing with by combining different people on their team, and by introducing specific processes that work in that possible case. So yeah, that's obviously a more expensive option, but not always. Like, for example, we've had clients who have kind of reduced their headcount in terms of technical staff and hired our agency simply because we are more effective, we are faster, we work better, we communicate better, and so on and so on. So that's something that's possible, and sometimes that may actually happen. However, with an agency, you receive kind of the full package. You receive different people with different capabilities and different skill sets. Someone who's kind of a team leader, project owner, project manager, probably some other people from the business development or marketing teams and so on, kind of dealing on the project. Again, depending on the volume and retainer size and so forth. But it's not someone whom you can bring in-house as an employee. At the same time, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. At times, depending on your agreement, it may be slightly slower, simply because you have more comprehensive processes that ensure stability and security and performance and things like that. But again, you receive a stable, reliable, solid working product, something that could grow and could scale in time. And more importantly, you work with people who are fully qualified and fully professional in that particular type of business, work, or industry, right? Because an agency works with dozens or hundreds of different clients, and they have the process, and they're already used to solving that type of problems. With employees, that's often a problem. They simply don't have enough background, they haven't worked on enough problems of that type, which may slow them down or which may lead to specific mistakes, preventing them to complete a certain assignment. So that's it, 3 different options: hiring someone full-time, a freelancer, or working with an agency. Each has their pros and cons. Choose wisely, and see you later.